what's going on in old Virginia. The state of Virginia is run by Democrats now. This past election, they got a governor that is just liberal, left-wing Democrat. The state House and Senate are Democrats, and they wasted no time at all fucking over their citizens, infringing on their rights, taxing the shit out of them, all very quickly because they didn't have to go through any process of opposition. There isn't a Republican in power to be found in Virginia that could do anything against the trifecta that they have as far as the government goes there. And what made it even worse, I'm talking about this latest assault weapon ban bill that was signed. And I hope, I guarantee that someone will take this to the courts and say that it's infringing on the Second Amendment right of the people. And hopefully it gets kicked up all the way to the Supreme Court. And hopefully the Republican majority or the conservative majority in the Supreme Court does what it's supposed to do and realizes and puts out a statement and a decision that this infringes on your constitutional right to bear arms. So the guy that sponsored this bill, this is the guy that came up with it. Said, this is what we're going to do. We are going to infringe on people's rights. He's from Bangladesh. He was born, there he is. He was born in Bangladesh. This is my post. Ooh, look at me covering my own ex-posts. This is the senator, a state senator who sponsored the bill. Saddam. That's always good. Isn't that always good when the first name is Saddam? Do you fucking ever remember a politician named Saddam years ago? I think the country was better before we had politicians named Saddam. Call me crazy. I'm silly. Saddam Azian Sal. It's infuriating. It's infuriating. Open Sesame. Saddam Open Sesame. Born in Noakhali, Bangladesh on January 1st, 1990. People have informed me, by the way, that a lot of these Bangladeshi and other people from these shithole countries, these savage nations, they don't know their birthday. So they just put New Year's Day or the 4th of July or something. They just pick a day because their government and their record keeping is so non-existent that they don't even know the day they were born. They have no idea. So this guy probably picked, all right, New Year's, 1990 sounds like a nice even year. It was a year they could make the glasses for New Year's Eve with the eye holes and the nines. So he picked that. And Anthony Cumia goes on to say in his post, someone who wasn't even born here has successfully infringed on your constitutional rights. How the hell have we allowed this? And this is the guy that successfully put an assault weapons ban in Virginia. And what does that entail? Again, the liberals don't even know what assault weapons are. It really is a word or a term that doesn't really mean anything. They say a semi-automatic rifle. The semi-automatic rifles have been around since the 1800s. And a lot of your traditional hunting rifles and, your grandpa's rifles that he'd use as a protection in his home were semi-automatic rifles and shotguns. That's it. Not semi-automatic shotguns, but semi-automatic rifles. They're not assault weapons. They're the vast majority of weapons that people own. So then they figured if it looks like a weapon of war, they like using that. So if it looks like an M16 or anything that has black plastic on it, oh, look out. By the way, it fires exactly like guns that aren't classified as assault weapons. If you have a gun with back there, a wooden stock, and it's a semi-automatic, you pull the trigger as fast as you pull the trigger, that's how fast bullets come out. That's a semi-automatic. It's not a machine gun. It's not a weapon of war. A lot of soldiers say that if they were given a consumer semi-automatic AR-15 out in the field, they'd be dead. That's not a weapon you would want to have in a battle if you're a soldier. It looks like a weapon of war. It looks cool. It's whatever it is. And it's got rails on it so you can mount different optics, lasers, flashlights, grips. And somehow this makes it more dangerous than a semi-automatic rifle with a wooden stock, which you could also put scopes on and various optics and lights and whatnot. So they don't even know what it means. They don't even know what assault weapon means. And now they've decided that certain pistols are assault weapons. I own a Desert Eagle, a 50 caliber Desert Eagle. And that has been deemed, at least in the state of New York and probably other liberal states, and I'm sure Virginia has just put that in their assault weapon ban, as an assault weapon because it's what, a 50 caliber? I would love to know how many crimes have been committed, how many murders in this country have been committed with a 50 caliber pistol or rifle, like the Barrett. I got that behind me there, the 50 cal Barrett rifle. Oh my God, I got like a hair in my eye. My eye is going crazy. And they want to ban these because they're assault weapons. Have they looked at the stats and realized that a throwaway 9mm is a pistol, just your crappy ghetto 9mm stolen pistol, is the number one gun used in crimes, in murders, in holdups, muggings, whatever. And that isn't on the list. As well, it shouldn't be. I'm not saying it should be. But if you're going to try to ban guns that are used in assaults and are used mostly in murders, wouldn't you go after that? Wouldn't you go after pistols that make up the vast majority of crimes committed? And then they bring up the school shootings. People like using AR-15s and semi-automatic weapons of war, as they call it. Yeah, it is a good weapon if you want to kill more than one person. I'll be honest. A semi-automatic rifle, I got one right there in the back. That would be considered an assault weapon in Virginia now. Yeah, and citizens should absolutely be able to own semi-automatic rifles. Now, if somebody is so inclined to do great harm to innocent people, they could get a little carbine, wooden stock, .223 ammo, and do just as much damage as they could with your AR-15 model. So, again, it's fucking semantics. And it's the Democrats, once again, just trying to disarm the American people. A disarmed population is so much more easily controlled. but America's government's got cruise missiles. You see Iran? What are you going to do with your little rifle against cruise missiles? They got atomic bombs. Yeah. And the second they launch a cruise missile against a bunch of people exercising their rights in Texas, there is no country anymore. Do you understand? Like, yeah, they could win. They could absolutely win a battle. Look at Waco. You know, that compound, David Koresh compound, full of assault weapons, even automatic weapons. And they were wiped out by ATF and FBI and local police. It wasn't a close fight once the government decided they were going to go balls out and burn down their fucking compound and shoot people as they were coming out and whatever else they did. So, yeah, they could win. But the second you start a real large-scale military action against the American people, it's over. There's no more America. There's no more country. They might be able to win by killing a lot of people, but they lose because you lose the country. It's no more America in that sense. Even Waco, to this day, people are pissed at the government about Waco. Now imagine that on a scale where they're not just using a tank and some helicopters, which they did at Waco, but they're using cruise missiles and atomic bombs that the liberals love bringing up. You think your AR-16, you think your AK-48 is going to do anything against tanks and missiles? Yeah, it is. It's going to prevent the government from using tanks and missiles because they know it's a no-win scenario. They could beat a certain amount of people. Certainly not the entire gun-owning population, but I doubt they'd all get involved. But it is a weird détente. Even though the capacity for damage isn't balanced, the American military could do a lot more damage to the citizens than the citizens can do to the government and the military. But knowing that once you pop that cork, it's over, they know they can't do that. Now, if we weren't armed, they wouldn't need tanks and missiles and helicopters. They could just walk up to your door and say, we own your house now, get out. And you would have no recourse. And it wouldn't look as bad as them blowing you up or shooting you. Do you understand? I hope you do. I've tried to convey this a couple of times over the course of the years, and people still don't seem to grasp that them winning militarily is them losing the entire country. So that's kind of where I stand on that. And that's why we have an armed populace here in this country. It is a balance of power. It is a détente that we have with the government, even though their weapons are bigger and badder and whatnot. So then you get a state like Virginia that goes all insanely blue, liberal Democrat. And then you have a Bangladeshi guy that was not even born in this country. I would assume he came here for a better life than the shithole of Bangladesh. And then you come here, look at the Constitution. You make an oath to the Constitution to become a state senator, or at least the state constitution. But you come here, you want to be a politician in this great new country that you've come to. And you decide that you want to start taking Americans' rights away. And you do. And he did. He did. He's very proud of this one. Very proud that he could come here. And this is what a lot of these motherfuckers are doing. They're leaving their shitholes. They're coming here and changing the rules and the rights that we have as Americans. What fucking gall. What? It's so arrogant that they come here to this country for a better life, and then they want to take Americans, natural born in America, Americans. What kind of American are you? Great scene in a terrible movie, Civil War. Fat Damon. And it's fucking when Fat Damon's got the rose glasses on and the military fatigues and his gun, and they're like, "We're Americans," and he's like, "What kind of Americans?" You're like, I love it. Is he supposed to be the bad guy? There are so many movies where someone's supposed to be the bad guy, and then as you watch or in further subsequent watches, you go, I don't think that's the bad guy. Not like I see it. American History X, the first half of it. I don't know. Edward Norton's character, is he supposed to be the bad guy? The speech he gives about immigrants coming in and taking over. Yeah, you watch that now and you'd be hard-pressed to not say like, ooh, that hits every nail right on the head. Every nail right on the head. So here is some Democrat senator in Virginia, different one from the Bangladeshi asshole. And he doesn't even know. This is a great example of how ignorant liberal Democrats are about what they profess to be so passionate about. Gun control, assault weapon bans. You would think you would study up. So if you're asked a question, you could give a coherent, intelligent answer as to what the fuck an assault weapon even is. But why? Why bother when you have the governor, the House, and the Senate in the state? Why bother knowing what an assault weapon even is when you could just sign that you don't want them? It's the American way, folks. So let's listen to this jerk off try to talk about assault weapons.
If you have an assault rifle, you can keep it. If you have an assault pistol, if you want to have one of these pistols with a silencer on it and a pistol grip in the front, a really big pistol, if you want to have one with a telescope on it or lasers or whatever else you want, that's okay. You just can't buy a new one and you can't sell it to anybody. If you want to have a magazine with more than 15 bullets, you can keep that too. You just can't buy a new one. And you can't, if you have an assault rifle.
He sounds like someone that doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about because he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. A assault pistol with a pistol grip. Yeah, pistol has a pistol grip. It's the grip on a pistol. It's a pistol grip. A pistol grip with a telescope on it. Yeah, that's good. I always pull my gun out to look at the rings of Saturn through the telescope on it. Ooh, you can have lasers on it. Like hang a disco ball from it so the lasers shoot out while you play YMCA. The guy doesn't know what he's talking about. They're taking away your rights and they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. That's what you got, Virginia. And don't just think because you live in a different state that you're safe. Virginia is a great example of what will happen nationwide under a Democrat president, House, and Senate. Now, I don't know why, and I'm really fucking perturbed that we have a Republican president, House, and Senate right now. And I know some of the numbers don't work as far as certain legislation goes. We need some Democrats to come on board. We don't have as large a majority as we need for certain legislation to go through. So I get that part of it. But goddamn, I would like to see a lot more being done before the midterms, which who the fuck knows? Do they cheat? Do the fickle Americans turn again and give the House and Senate, or at least one of them, to the Democrats? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I've lost complete faith in the electoral system in this country. Even before 2020, it was dodgy. But after 2020, if you have any confidence in the electoral system in this country, I think you're a blithering idiot. Now, that doesn't mean don't vote. I know that sounds weird, but it's the only way you could try to prevent fraud. And I think we saw that in the 2024 election. I think we saw such big numbers come out for Trump that they were very hard pressed to cheat. I believe they were at least trying or were going to try. And then they saw the overwhelming numbers. I mean, Kamala Harris was just nothing, lost all the fucking swing states. And I think even they knew it would have looked really bad, especially on the heels of 2020. But who knows with the midterms? Who the fuck knows? And if we ever see a Democrat president, House and Senate, look out, because they will do exactly what they're doing here. And maybe there might still be a majority conservative Supreme Court for a while, but that takes time. And they always throw monkey wrenches into that shit. So if they ban assault weapons nationally, you're fucked for God knows how long until it makes its way to the Supreme Court. And then you got to hope they vote the right way to not infringe on our rights. So I know a lot of people are very, very disillusioned with the Republican Party right now. James Woods, celebrity. He's on social media a lot. He's starting to do talk shows, which I asked him years ago to do a show, and he goes, I just don't do talk shows. But he's just starting to come out now and do these talk shows. I think he was trying to at least save a little bit of his career as far as doing movies go. He's into a lot of other things. But I think he knew if he went full bore conservative that his time in Hollywood was over. And now he's starting to do that. And he's calling out all these motherfuckers. And he just recently switched from Republican to independent because he's disgusted. He's disgusted with the Republicans. As am I. I'm disgusted with the Republicans. Why can't they get a fucking bill through with the majority? What are they doing? Why are they wasting time on other nonsense? Assert yourselves. Where are the fucking indictments? Solid indictments, real indictments that'll be followed through on. And I know, look, it's not 100% their fault because they got these activist liberal judges and people like Alvin Bragg in New York and Letitia James, and they just dismiss shit. Oh, yeah, fuck that. Dismiss it. So I get that, but then hit harder. How were they able to get Donald Trump convicted of felonies? Where are the Clintons in a court of law? Where are they? Where are a lot of these Democrat pieces of shit, traitorous fucking buffoons? I don't know. But people are very disillusioned with the Republicans. The Iran thing, a lot of people are very pissed at that. Like, why are we bothering? I mean, there are some valid reasons that go beyond just we want the people of Iran to be free. No, we don't. Who cares? I don't care if they're free. No one should. If they want to be free, let them fight their own fucking battle. The Israel connection, of course, we're doing this for Israel. Iran is like the last speed bump on the road for Israel to have complete power in the Middle East. And, people firmly believe that. And then there's, the people that think every shot that's fired in the Middle East is over oil. I'd like to believe that Iran has been the last holdout of this old school Middle East. A lot of the other countries in the Middle East are doing business with the world. They are in the global market. Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Kuwait, Qatar, they're all selling and buying goods and services from the world. So it's amazing how money can be a peacekeeper. You could hate people. You could religiously have a problem where, infidel this, or if you're making money trading goods and services for money with people you don't like, you'd be much less inclined to just lash out and start a battle with them. And I think that's what's kept relative peace with some of the big players in the Middle East, like Saudi. Obviously, Palestinians and Gaza and Hamas, and there's always going to be that. But the major countries are too connected to each other and connected to the world now financially that they can't just start bombing what the world sees as civilized nations. They have to play nice. And there are a few countries that don't play nice. And Iran is one of them. Now, does that warrant us going in and having our own soldiers pay with their lives to make Iran part of the fucking global economy? No, I don't think so. Moving forward, would an Iran that is in this global economy be less apt to use weapons against other people, sponsor terrorism still, maybe hijack a plane, blow up some military barracks like the old days? Yeah, they'd be less apt to do that. Is that a good reason to go in now and do this? You're going to have to wait a few years. Going to have to wait a few years and see if it works. But I think that's a valid, if that is indeed what happens, it would be a valid reason. You're removing a threat. Now, again, I'd hear it from the people that say, yeah, you're removing a threat, the last threat to Israel. Sorry. Sometimes Israel's ambitions can coincide with ours, or their ambition can be one of our ambitions, even if they're not the same. So they want no more shit in the Middle East so they could be big man on campus, Israel. Yeah. But we can also look down the road and see an Iran that isn't fucking blowing shit up and paying money and training people to lash out on people that are trying to live in civil societies. And just because they weren't doing this, as far as the big picture goes, I believe they were still sponsoring terror. It doesn't mean that, 5 years we'll have to do this? And 5 years, if we have Democrats in office here in this country, they're not going to do anything about it. And then maybe they do get a nuclear weapon. Who knows? I'm just spitballing here, folks. And I will get so many things. Anthony, you fucking Jew-loving Zionist. And then it'll be, Anthony, you anti-Semite. I'll be like, what happened? I'm throwing it all out here. I'm throwing a lot of different scenarios out here. Look at what happened to my sleeve. But not this one. It is so difficult being Tony Two Shirts. Yeah. So don't give me no shit. Don't give me no shit. Oh, you know, my girl buys